afternoon, everyone. Thought I'd do a quick tour of the garden, give you a bit of an update for April. We officially are in autumn by a fairly long way. Well, mid-autumn or fall, but my pawpaws are starting to flower, or papaya. It's a red papaya. So yes, I got my pumpkins. I've got one pumpkin on down here. This pumpkin vine has not done real great. I'm just debating whether or not this is ready to pick yet. I don't think it's quite ready. It's still got a little bit of green on there. That's a butternut. It's quite small, but we didn't get a lot of rain. So yeah, sweet potatoes doing well, and nasturtium's doing well. We have had a lot of rain recently, and we did finally get the non-ride-on mower out, so it's just a small one. Had to keep the catcher off because the grass was so long, but Gavin managed to get it to work, so that's really great. This bed's doing okay. The nasturtium's doing fantastically. I do have a tomato in here, although it's probably not going to go too well because of the frost. I got a sweet potato in there, I think, and it seems to be doing well. The basil's going to seed, but still doing well. My moringa tree's growing nicely. All the pond plants over there are kind of buried. I really need to get them out into the dam. My Madagascar bean, that's part of the single seed challenge, that is 32 days old and it's getting quite big. The comfrey, look at the comfrey leaves, they're doing fantastically. I'm just blown away by the comfrey. And there's some sweet potato in there somewhere too, and some rue and some tansy. And my cassava is doing well. The pella, it's getting eaten by something, but that's fairly normal. I didn't get all of the yard mowed. It's a pretty big job, and I'm still not feeling well. But it's at least not yet. I do need to milk the goats shortly, so I'm not going to do a complete garden tour. Yes. Goats chomped back the elderberry a bit, so it's growing back nicely. And look at the gerbras, my beautiful gerbras. Got 3 lovely gerbras growing on there. They just look lovely. Add some colour to the garden. This branch of the elderberry is growing down for some reason. I don't know why. That gerbera hasn't flowered yet. The sweet potato look like they're going well. The chickens look like they want some attention. So, have to get Matthew to get some food for these guys. Oh, girls actually. There's only one boy in there. That's Red Rooster. But they're doing well. And they're definitely out of food. Which is fascinating. He overflowed that feeder a couple of days ago. They got water, but it could do with a top up. And they've got heaps of eggs. Now, he told me that he checked on them this morning. Look at that. This is why you've got to keep an eye on children when they do chores. So there's lots of eggs over there. And a chicken trying to escape. And no wonder they're trying to escape. They've got no food. Miss Becky is doing well. She seems to be recovering nicely now that she's on her own. She was getting picked on quite badly, but she doesn't appear to be laying yet. And I think that's just because she was under a significant amount of stress. So I thought having a hen here on her own would give her a chance to recover. And when she's all fully back on her feet, I'll actually pop the Isa Brown back in with her. So yes. Anyway, that's that part of the update. That section of grass is growing back up again nicely, so I'll be able to put the goats back in there again soon. Still got some roosters down the bottom there. Let's see, what else have we got? Okay, so that comfrey's not doing as well as the other comfrey, which is just over there. But the sweet potato are recovering nicely from the goats nibbling them down, and the passion fruit's starting to grow nicely. Very exciting. Let's go look at the other end of this bed. He's over there checking the chickens. They will get their food nicely soon. Now this little section of garden bed looks like it might be a bit thirsty, and I've got a bucket of water here, so I'll just, oh, this bucket's falling apart. Dip that over there. So yes, looks like hopefully I've got some turmeric coming in up here. I did put some turmeric here when we first moved in, and it didn't do very well. So I actually thought that it had died, but it started coming up, which is a challenge because turmeric doesn't grow during winter. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there. But this tomato is doing well. Just pop it back inside its little cage. I think that one's a Roma tomato. I think. Pigeon peas recovering from being eaten by the goats. And that basil has actually recovered. Fascinating. Sweet potatoes trying to grow up the tree. Marigold's doing okay. The nasturtium's not thriving, but it's not dying either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The interesting thing, so with this, I don't 100% know that it's turmeric, because it's actually popping up in random spots in the garden that I did not plant it. So I don't think it is only turmeric. Anyway, let's check some of the other garden beds. Okay, so the other thing that I need to do an update on is my plants. Reggie's growing in a pot. So the Okinawa spinach, as you can see, is going fantastically. The strawberries are doing great. Lettuce is doing well, although I haven't had, it's not doing as well as the one in the aquaponics, as you'll see future, but none of the seeds have germinated. Parsley's doing okay, still alive. My peas, none of my peas have actually germinated. But they were old seeds, so it is beneficial to use new seeds. The chard is doing well, although again, not as well as what's in the aquaponics. Oh, my thyme died. That's what happens when you don't plant it out and it's still in its pot. It would appear that this leek is going to seed. So yes, it would have been much better off leaving it in the aquaponics. My marigold's doing well, and the rosemary's doing well. So everything in this most things in this thing are doing well. I did have one of my little leeks die. This leek seems to be doing okay still, but as I said, that one's going to seed, which going to seed's not a bad thing. It means I get heaps of leek seeds. Yay! And I haven't gotten these other pots potted up yet. But yeah, really happy with the strawberry, really happy with the Okinawa spinach and the lettuce and the chard. They're doing fantastically. Really, really pleased. Anyway, you have a great day. And honestly, this is the first time I've had to water them, and they didn't really need it then. But when it has rained, I've stuck them out there so that they've gotten fresh rainwater. So they're doing really well, and then I bring them back in under the shade so that they don't get cooked in the sun. It's the advantage of this little thing being on wheels, although I probably should just leave it out there. But it's all good. But yeah, let's see what else is going on. Okay, now in contrast to that other tomato, this tomato is dying. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with this. There's not as much organic matter in this section of the garden, and hasn't got the fertilizer. I didn't put the horse manure or the hay or as much wood chips in this section, so it could just be that. I started to notice it wilting when we had a couple of really hot days after we had lots of rain. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that tomato. The marigold's doing well. Isn't that pretty? Pretty marigolds. Doing beautifully. Just kind of interesting. The citronella plant's doing well, although it's not doing very well at getting rid of mosquitoes. There are heaps of mosquitoes around. My moringa's doing well. Lavender's doing fantastically. I've got a little gerbera in here flowering. It's not as pretty as the other one, but it's still pretty. My wormwood is doing well. I should get it in the dirt somewhere. The peppermint has died. That completely died. Oh, there's a little bit coming back, but the peppermint's not doing well. That zucchini's hopeless. The leucaena's just about died off, so I think I probably didn't water it enough. But that's what happens when I'm sick. Things just don't get done. The lemongrass is still alive. it's coming back nicely, although it's not doing as good a job as I'd like at getting rid of the mosquitoes. I was really hoping that these would do better at deterring the mosquitoes, but it's not really helping. The Monstera Delicio's sent out a new leaf, so that's really good. I don't know what this is. I did not plant this. This is not turmeric or ginger, so I don't know what that is. My mulberry is doing well. It really does need to go in the dirt, but I just haven't been well to sort that out. My cat, the other mulberry is doing well. There's an elderberry in there. It's probably not getting enough light. This moringa is looking for the sun, but it's still alive. The parsley's doing okay. These are the two mulberries that I got from Tyler, along with that, I just had a flower fall on me. It was full of gooey stuff, icky. Anyway, so this is the mulberry I got from Tyler. I haven't planted it out yet. I got the lemongrass from Tyler as well. Oregano, it's probably not getting enough sunlight. I probably really need to trim this back, but it is creating a microclimate under here. Lemon balm, it's doing okay. Something's eating it. Oh, I wonder what that bug is. Anyone recognise the bug? Anyway, lemon balm's doing okay. Not fantastically. The mint has died back significantly over there. My tomato got taken off with by something. I suspect rodents. It looks like this gerbera did flower, but clearly is not as happy. Rosemary's still doing well. Dragon fruit, I think I may have put it in upside down. Yes, that parsley's not thriving, but it's not dying either. But yes, I'm yet to decide what to do with that. I don't know whether that would be good to keep that there, especially from a frost perspective, to create a nice microclimate in this area. I don't know. I'm not sure on what to do with that. Leave comments and suggestions down below as to whether or not I should chop that back. So yes, it does create a microclimate in here, which is great for the Monstera Delicio's because it likes that sort of climate. I'm not sure whether it's good for everything else, and I've probably planted things there that I shouldn't have. But yeah, so that area is doing really well. My moringa in the pot, it's not dead, but it's not thriving because I never know when to water it because it doesn't have holes in the bottom, so it just fills up like a bucket. So I need to keep a close eye on it. My curry leaf tree isn't really doing much. I don't think it likes the pot. I'm thinking I might need to find a spot in the yard, but I don't care if it takes over, and planting it out because it's really not doing well. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Got munching grass on the driveway and doing a lovely job. And the girls didn't like this grass, so I'm not sure why. But my goats are a bit picky. They don't like that grass. They do like the thick bladed grass. They really like that. So the stuff that's just inside the fence line there, they really love. They really like that. So I had Marbella here for a little while, so she's chomped that down a bit. And I had Mary here, not that you can notice, it's just grown back so beautifully, so it's nearly ready for her to go back there again. But there's lots of grass along the driveway for them to eat. Which is wonderful. Let's check on the mango, see how the mango's going. I've been really slack. I haven't been slack. I have been sick. I'm still not fully recovered yet. I've still got these weird aches and pains moving all over the body, doing really weird stuff. I never know from day to day whether I'll be able to walk or not. Yesterday was a real struggle. Look at this pumpkin. My goodness. But we came to look at the mango. Mango's doing fantastically. I put some pigeon pea seeds in here, and Ah dear. So there's the pigeon, one of the pigeon peas. It's another pigeon pea, and that's the Leukina. So pigeon pea and Leukina are doing nicely. Pigeon pea and Leukina are a nitrogen fixer and a good fodder crop. And the pigeon peas I can use as legumes for us to eat as well. So the mango is doing fantastically, and I haven't watered this since I put it in. We did get a little bit of rain. Oh, we got a fair bit of rain actually. This pumpkin vine seems to be taking off again, which will be because it got rain. Not sure how many flowers are there. There is a mulberry in there somewhere, hopefully. Can't really see it now because the mango's kind of taking over. Looks like I've got a pigeon pea coming up over there. But check out this pumpkin. I've got no idea what it's going to do in the... And this, because this is a section here, in this area here, I had the goats. And it is amazing to see how the areas where the goats have been are recovering. And of course, I haven't kept the goats there long term. They've only been there for short periods of time. And then the area's been allowed to rest and recover. I've also got the hay that I rolled out here. And you can see there is such a stark difference between this area and the rest of the paddock. And the goats don't like that grass at all. They do not like it. I did put some pigeon pea seeds down in these spots as well. Can't see any coming up as yet. Oh, maybe, but I don't think so. Of course, I'm wearing thongs, so I really shouldn't be down here. So yes. But it's really interesting, the goats were here, and just to see the difference in the grass and how it's recovering and responding. Rotational grazing definitely helps the paddocks, and you've got to make sure you give it long enough time to rest, but not too long. And of course there's the tyre tracks from the solar installers the other day. So there's some spots it's definitely obvious where the goats have been. Other spots it's like, can't really tell. But the goats really do not like this stuff in here. Get a pumpkin female flower, a couple of pumpkin females there. Now hopefully there's enough pollinators out here to actually pollinate all those. Oh, look, pumpkin! Pumpkin. Now these are actually self-sown. So they're volunteers that have come in from when I gave the goats a pumpkin. So you're definitely very excited about anything I get off here. We have harvested a couple of pumpkins from this lot. So very excited by this. And if nothing else, it's helping to create organic matter in the soil and having roots in there that are growing. So, and goats love pumpkins. Oh, that's another female flower there. That one looks like it might have been pollinated. Fantastic. Another female flower. I've got no idea how long, whether or not these are going to actually grow to fruition before the weather gets too cold. I'm not. I really just don't know. I don't know how they cope in frost. I've got something in my thumb. Not a clue. But I can hope. And half the problem is we just got the rain so late. Rain coming at the beginning of, during March. Look at that. Rain coming at the beginning of March and through March is not great for growing stuff. Honestly, it would have been much better if we'd gotten the rain during summer, but I'm grateful that we've gotten the rain that we have, because it has just transformed these paddocks and given them half a chance of recovering. So yeah, sure it is the goats. Time to move Mary to a new spot. I can move her further up the driveway because there's lots of grass there, and they do a lovely job of cleaning it all up. I mean, they don't eat it right down to the ground, but that's okay. And I got these chooky chooks. and I put them on some deep bedding when it was really raining. So that's going to be a fantastic spot to plant something. I'm going to move this lot now just before Matthew gives them some water, so I'll be back in a second. Look at that, happy girls. Matthew got them some nice fresh water. They've got some lovely fresh food. They got all that lovely fresh grass. They are happy chickens. Sorry, and I'm in the road. They do seem to be molting a little bit though, which is a bit interesting coming into winter. But we've had some really hot days. Like it was 33 degrees yesterday. Not sure what it is at the moment, but yeah, happy chooks. They're my white Australorps. I'm looking forward to planting something here, but I'm going to have to make sure I pop up some sort of protection fencing, just so that the goats can't get into it. I mean, yes, I usually have the goats on chains at the moment, but goats are goats. I have great faith in goats' abilities to get into everything. But I could just plant something in here anyway, and just keep the goats away from it as much as I can. See, possibly one of my mulberries, maybe even one of the moringas, and some pigeon peas around it. So the chickens should have prepared that area beautifully for all that. Sorry about my shadow. So the chickens will have prepared that nicely. That tarpaulin's supposed to be over the top of them, but it flew off. I've got to find a better way to attach it. And that's okay. I just got to get a bit creative. So yeah, so that's one spot ready for me to plant in. Anyway, and it's not a tragedy if we decide to actually not have whatever I plant there, because I can always take cuttings from it and all that sort of thing. So even if it is a temporary spot, that's all good. So anyway, let's go check on the aquaponics. Well, that passion fruit vine is going to die if I leave it here, because people keep knocking it over, or the wind keeps knocking it over, and it's just not, it's not doing well. It needs to go into the ground, but I just haven't been well enough to do it. The fish are doing well. And they look like they're hungry too. Oh, can you see them? You can see them. They're getting quite big now. I'll give them some food. Give the fish some food. No, they're not liking it because the cover's off. But they're definitely hungry. Well, I'll figure it out in a minute. There we go. And I've got my little solar powered aerators in there. They're just little backups there in case the power goes off. And I just left them on as soon as I had them. The fish aren't super hungry, but the weather is cooling down, so although the daytime temperature is still quite high. And there's a definite variety of sizes in the fish. So that pump is actually on a timer and it's just gone off. Oh, a fish over there swimming for some reason. Very slow moving. Hope he's okay. That's one of the reasons why I really want to get a GoPro, so that I can actually monitor the fish's health a lot better. Because at this stage I can't actually, as you can see, I can't see the fish. I'm not sure that that fish isn't a little bit unhappy. It would be really useful to be able to have a GoPro and go down and actually have a look at the fish swimming around underwater, see if they're all behaving happily. But I have the Gofundme if you want to support me in helping to keep an eye on the fish and if you want to actually get to see the fish. So if I can record them, I'll pop them up on my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see all my lovely fishies. So I'll leave a link down below in the description to my Gofundme campaign, and a big shout out to Cynthia, who has donated towards helping me getting a GoPro. Thank you very much. It's a long way to go, but every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. That's the fishies. And I'm really disappointed at the moment. That looks like I've got a... That is a big weed. That is just a weed. Let's pull that one out. Not a very big root structure on that weed, but I'll give that to the goats. That'll make them happy. But the Okinawa spinach is doing fantastically, and I'm really disappointed at the moment because I can't find my dehydrator. So I can't get in and dehydrate any of that lovely celery that is doing fantastically. I've harvested a heap of the basil. Actually harvested 1.3 kilos the other day and turned it into heaps of pesto. That comfrey is doing fantastic. I need to take it out. Look at the marigold. It's just going to be covered in flowers soon. Although it's kind of hiding the chives. Chives are in there somewhere. The Mulberry spinach is doing fantastically. I mean, look at that. I really need to string it up so it's going over the structure a bit. The Pella, although it's fallen over, it is still producing amazingly. This passion fruit's staying upright, so it's doing okay. I have put that one into a pot, so it's now getting watered. Let's see if the little seeds. I put a heap of seeds in here the other day, just on the chance that they might come up. Doesn't look like anything's germinated yet, so I put some purple cauliflower and some other things in. I put some spinach in. Nothing seems to have germinated yet, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's okay. This cucumber vine is doing okay, although it is still getting hammered by aphids. And whatever that horrible thing is. It only looks like a fruit fly. One of the Australian Queensland fruit flies. I hope not. Anyway. But this is not doing well. It's getting a lot of bugs attacking it. I think they're aphids. And the butterfly, lady beetles were doing well there for a little while, but there's a lady beetle there. So a lady beetle there, but obviously need a lot more to be able to really protect this little plant, because it's doing well other than that. It'd be nice to get some seeds and save some seeds from that one. And so I've got my turmeric coming up in here, which it is very late in the year for turmeric. Same with the basil. None of the collards and all that sort of thing that I've planted seem to have come up. I'm not sure what that one is. These lettuces are doing fantastically, and another one of the Mulberry spinach. Look at the leaves on that. I think that's huge. You don't get those growing so well when you're growing in the garden, because they really do love the water. This spinach is doing really well. I'm really pleased with that. I'm not sure what... Does anyone know what that is? I'm just not sure. This is spinach, so I'm glad that's doing well again, because I can eat spinach at the moment. The diet is still going okay. These strawberries are all doing well and are needing some attention, so I probably should pop them up somewhere else. And look at those marigolds. Just check them out. And the longevity spinach, it's just going nuts. And can you even tell that I harvested 1.4 kilos of basil? I mean, the only way you can tell is this stuff at the front isn't quite as tall as the stuff at the back. That's nuts. That basil is just doing so well. So, I mean, everything is doing really, really well in here. I'm so pleased. Mind you, I can't even find the beans anymore. There's one little bean plant in here. It hasn't got any beans on it though, by the looks of it. There's a strawberry in here that's totally not getting any sunlight because it's just totally crowded out by this basil that is just going insane. The basil is taking over the world. I got a chard in there. I mean, look at this. Look at the Okinawa spinach. It is just going berserk. It really loves the aquaponics. I mean, the weeds here are going berserk as well, but yeah, the marigolds are just doing fantastically. It's a shame they're all the one coloured ones. I've got some chard in there too, not that you can get to it. Well, hubby could. He's a lot taller than I am. So yes, and there's my other pussycat. Come to keep me company. I really need to take this mattock inside. Not quite sure what it's doing out here still. So yeah, that's some more of the silver beet. As I said, I really wish I could find, well, rainbow chard actually. I really wish I could find my dehydrator, because otherwise the only thing I can do with this chard is actually give it to goats. Well, hubby and the kids can eat it, but they're not real big on the... I mean, can you hear how crunchy that is? Just breaking that off. That's some decent rainbow chard. I'm so delicate when I harvest, aren't I? Yes, it's very good. It's very good. There's another chard in there. Take some of that too. It's not really getting enough light. There's too many plants in there. But I've still got to go milk the goats. So that's the garden tour for today. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope your gardens are growing well. And if you find this inspiring, and you decide to grow some set up an aquaponic system, I would love to see what you do. I really would. And you don't need to go as fancy as I have. And we're going to go, we'll have other systems set up shortly, hopefully. Even just set up with a couple of bathtubs is what a couple of our systems will be. So you don't need to have something this big and fancy. Just here, this is where we can grow stuff, because as you've seen, all the other gardens are not growing half as well as the aquaponics is. So yeah. Anyway, have a great one. Bless you.